Ah, yes, the majestic giant panda, a symbol of peace, conservation, and apparently extreme laziness. But before achieving global mascot status, a panda must first endure the harrowing experience of being born, if you can even call it that. Picture this. A full-grown panda weighs up to 250 pounds, yet its newborn is the size of a stick of butter. A literal pink, hairless, squirming jellybean. Nothing says survival of the fittest, quite like entering the world, as something a light breeze could take out. Now, let's talk about location. Born in a cozy, warm den? Think again. Bamboo forests are damp, cold, and about as welcoming as a broken-down motel in the middle of nowhere. Congratulations, tiny panda, you've just been dropped into a harsh, freezing wilderness with exactly zero survival skills. And the mother? A giant, lumbering creature who, let's be honest, pretty terrible at this whole parenting thing. Unlike other species that obsess over their young, panda mothers have a habit of forgetting their baby exists. She has one job, and even that's a bit much for her. Imagine being so tiny that your own mother loses you under her elbow. Tragic. But wait, it gets better. Pandas often give birth to twins, which sounds adorable until realizing only one gets to live. That's right. If two babies pop out, mom picks the stronger one, and the other, well, let's just say it's not invited to the bamboo buffet. Tough luck, little guy. Even if lucky enough to be the chosen one, survival is still a gamble. For the first weeks of life, this minuscule, blind, squeaky blob must rely entirely on a mother who spends 16 hours a day eating and the other 8 sleeping. So, good luck getting her attention. Meanwhile, other baby animals are already walking, hunting, or at least resembling their adult selves. The baby panda? Still a weird, fleshy grub with no hair, no coordination, and no dignity. A tiger cub is out there learning how to pounce. A baby giraffe is literally walking within minutes of birth. But a baby panda? It's just there, lying around, defenseless, completely at the mercy of a mother who, statistically speaking, might accidentally squish it in her sleep. Evolution, ladies and gentlemen. And that's just the start. If somehow it makes it through this absolute nightmare of an infancy, it still has to figure out how to function in a world where its only skill is eating the least nutritious plant possible. Against all odds, the tiny, helpless jellybean somehow survives infancy. Fantastic. Now comes the fun part, growing up in a world where everything is out to get it. And by everything, that mostly means gravity, clumsiness, and its own questionable life choices. For starters, walking is a nightmare. Most animals get the hang of movement pretty quickly. Calves, foals, even baby elephants manage to stay upright. But not this confused little furball. Baby pandas spend their early weeks rolling, tumbling, and generally resembling a malfunctioning Roomba. Their legs? Useless. Coordination? Non-existent. Survival instincts? Let's just say those are still buffering. But wait, it gets worse. The panda, an animal with literal, bare DNA, is somehow completely defenseless. No sharp claws, no terrifying roar, no ability to outrun even the slowest of predators. It's basically a chubby plush toy with a heartbeat. If something so much as sneezes in its direction, that's game over. And speaking of predators, nature has really stacked the deck here. Snow leopards, eagles, and even wild dogs would love a panda snack. And what's the escape plan? Oh, right, there isn't one. The baby panda's best defense is lying there, hoping it doesn't get noticed. Brilliant. Just brilliant. Now, let's talk about diet, because it's the single biggest proof that pandas are just making life harder for themselves. Most bears eat fish, berries, and, well, things with actual nutrients. But pandas? No. Pandas choose to survive on bamboo plant, so nutritionally useless that they have to eat about 80 pounds of it per day just to function. Imagine being given unlimited food, but that food is lettuce, and you have to eat a truckload of it just to keep from passing out. That's the daily life of a panda. What's worse, their digestive system isn't even designed for it. That's right. Their bodies are still wired to digest meat, but instead, they've dedicated their entire existence to munching on the equivalent of cardboard. Ajiaon, decision-making, and then there's climbing. Other animals climb trees to escape predators. Pandas climb trees to fall out of them. They are the only animal in the world that somehow manages to be both a bear and a toddler at the same time. It's an endless loop of struggling up a tree, losing grip, and rolling down like an overstuffed marshmallow. But don't worry, after years of this, the baby panda eventually grows into a full-sized adult panda. Great news, right? Well, not really, because even as an adult, it remains just as terrible at survival as it was when it first tumbled out of the womb. This giant, adorable disaster has no natural hunting ability, no real way to defend itself, and almost no interest in keeping its species alive. That's right. When it finally reaches mating age, the panda just can't be bothered. Other animals have complex mating rituals, fierce competition, and the drive to ensure their species doesn't disappear. Pandas? So, after years of tumbling, failing, and eating its weight in bamboo, the panda has finally reached adulthood. And what a journey it has been. Surely, by now, all the struggles are over, and life is smooth sailing from here, right? Wrong. Now that the panda is all grown up, it has officially entered the next stage of its existence, being a full-time professional food vacuum. Eating bamboo was bad enough as a baby, but now, this oversized fluff ball has to shove down 0 calories a day just to stay alive. That means eating non-stop. No vacations, no hobbies, no social life, just endless, mind-numbing chewing. And what happens after eating 80 pounds of fiber per day? Well, what goes in must come out. Pandas poop a lot. About 50 times a day. That's one deposit every 30 minutes. So, in addition to its other impressive skills rolling, falling, and failing at basic survival, the panda is also a walking, munching, pooping machine. A truly inspiring existence. And speaking of uninspiring things, reproduction, remember how pandas are bears but somehow forgot how to bear children properly? Yeah, that problem has not improved. In fact, adult pandas are so bad at mating that entire scientific teams have to step in and help. Picture this. Teams of experts, carefully orchestrating panda romance, playing mood, setting panda love songs, even showing panda videos to get the point across. If there was ever a species that needed a tutorial for its own survival, this is it. But let's say, against all odds, it works. The panda finally finds a mate, successfully produces another tiny, helpless jellybean, and the cycle starts all over again. And what does the fully grown panda do next? The same thing it has always done: sleep, eat, fall out of trees, and contribute to one of the most questionable survival stories in nature. And yet, somehow, despite every evolutionary red flag, despite their complete lack of natural survival skills, pandas still exist. Not because they're great at life, not because they've mastered their environment, but because humans, for some reason, refuse to let them go extinct. That's right, entire organizations dedicate themselves to saving a bear that spends half its life falling over and the other half ignoring the concept of reproduction. So, in the end, being a panda still sucks. Life is just a series of struggles, awkward moments, and questionable decisions. But does the panda care? Not really. It's too busy face-planting into a pile of bamboo for the 30th time today. And honestly, that's kind of beautiful.